Our group project name News Planet. We suspect a future VR news reading experience. Our group member is Jenny, Aishan, Zihan, and me. About the content part, we will divide into 3 parts. The first one is theory, and I will talk about it. The second one is research. Jenny and Aishan will talk about it. And Zihan will talk about the practice part. About theory, the first one I will talk about the design context. As living in the information approach, we surrounded by various news and information every day, such as TV news, social media news, and so on. Although the human brain has an amazing ability to process the complex information, but its capability is limited. Therefore, we are facing the problem of information overload. The information overload makes people feel stressed and decrease their job satisfaction, physical discomfort, and cannot consider information clearly. Further, comparing visual information and context processing, different research shows different results, from 5 times faster to 60 times faster. We can, of course, all agree that reading is a huge mental effort, much like writing, which requires concentration. You probably feel it right now, as you are reading every sentence in the context. Then I'll talk about 3 issues. The first one is when people receive lots of information through the social media, such as Twitter, at one time, how do they feel? The second one is, will they face the psychological problem when they living in the information overload approach? What kind of design could able to help them calm down even they see a lot of information? Then I'll talk about the lecture review. Information overload is a circumstances, means you receive too much information at one time and cannot consider it very clearly. A large amount of information with a large information rate is like a kind of news, a kind of noise. When it's overload, highly speed makes the receivers unable to process efficiently without distraction, pressures, increase the errors, and make information worse. The use of the instinct information message knowledge and mobile phone makes news spread faster. Physiological disorder caused by too many news converged called headlining stress disorder. Psychological Dr. Steven first defined it as a highly information response to endless reports, such as anxiety and stress in news media. Although it's not a medical digest, but it processed anxiety and stress may lead to physical function disorder. And further development may lead to physical and mental disorder, such as anxiety disorder, depression, and so on.
Now I'll talk about our research process. From the theory, we try to raise our own design issue. That is, how could we alleviate anxiety when users access information on social platforms under the context of the information explosion. We looked into several projects for inspirations and researched more around the VR technology. We found Japan manga, artist Oliver's personal website, and the VR video. From these design precedents, we got to know that visual information could help people relax. By using soft lighting in an immersive space could also improve user experience for receiving information. The VR video of making the cover for New York Times Magazine recorded the making process and give audience a new way to learn more about the story behind the scene. Similar technique has been used in journalism. Some journalists try to record protests or filming documentaries with advanced camera, hoping to change the way they communicate with the audience. However, VR has its drawbacks, which production is time-consuming and requires a professional team with multidisciplinary workers to work on high-quality content. News companies are hesitant to use it also because of lacking advertising and a stable audience. The immersive environment media do has positive impact on people from psychological way and could enrich users' body interaction by releasing their hands. There's still lots to do in the future to let the user fully getting used of the new forms.
So this part is methodology and method section. So the first methodology we used is secondary research. Like in the theory section, we do some literature review for the design principles and VR technology to help us conduct the design at a calming down way for the audience. And also in the research part, we explore other designers about how they work on this context like our topic. And the second methodology we choose is the speculative design because it could address big society problems and also look towards the future to create products and services for the news broadening scenarios. And also one big challenge is we referred in the theory part is about it lacks in the business model to gain the profit. So these methods could help us conduct the design without market-led agendas. And also we would like to inspire an audience to think not only about what they want for their future selves, but also think about what they do not want. And the interaction technology is the virtual reality, and we want to use this to bring the users to immerse in our design context and to provoke the physical and psychological reactions associated with the overloaded news broadcasting. And the tools we used is the Cinema 4D as a modeling tool and also the Adobe Premiere Pro to edit the video. And the last part is the practice section from Zihan.
In our design practice, at the beginning, we were thinking of using different methods to physicalize the context, like using vibration or waves to show how people feel when they are receiving overload information. And we also think about using the screen to display information flow. However, we found that the physicalization may not be the right way. On the contrary, it gives people more stressful feeling and could not help them relax. So we turned into VR for more opportunities.
Now, I'm going to talk about the artifact of our project, a speculation design for future news reading experience in virtual reality. The guiding principles in our design should think about how might we create a comfort news reading experience for the audience in virtual reality. The first is aestheticalization, and we applied Gallstadt principle, which includes continuity, unity, simplicity, and consistency. Using this would make our design look nice and provide a pleasurable experience for users and thus reduce anxiety. And the second is spatialization, using bubbles in 3 dimensions to represent the physical location of news collections. In this way, the 2-dimensional information display that we often experience through screens or books is changed to 3D, which makes the information accessing process easier and thus less stressful. The third is the hand gesture control of the bubbles that we designed in our project. Hand is linked to our brain, and we designed in our VR experience for the users to directly control the movement of the bubbles in the news planet. And the camera will trace the hand of the user and the VR system will respond to the control of the user's hands. In this way, people's hands are released from holding on doing the same gesture as they usually do when handling many of our daily tasks on digital screens, which could also increase anxiety. For our design process, the website of Oliver Eliasson gives us inspiration for the clustering of objects in a space, and on the right-hand side are our concept design for controlling news collections bubbles in VR, including moving, scrolling, pulling, and pushing. On the left-hand side is our scripts for the shooting. We have explored Unity and Cinema 4D for digital realization. We finally chose Cinema 4D for its atmosphere, which could tailor to our needs for the project. And we've chosen pink for calmness and made use of different shapes and textures in this program. Now I'll explain the concept of our project. The news are stored in the bubbles in the news planet as three-dimensional physicalities, and in the environment, users could explore the environment freely using their hands and take the news that they wish to read. The spatial memories will be connected to the environment, and accessing information will be easier than having them all on a small screen. And for each small bubbles, they contain specific news which could be accessed by opening up the bubbles using hand gestures, opening up. For the inside of a news collection bubble, simplicity is used as the guiding principle. There's limited information at any given time since our mind can only focus on one cognition task at one time, and all others are distractions. And when one news is present, all the others fade away, and there's little distraction of other objects in this reading space in VR. And now let's show our artifact video.